All right, it's going live now. I'm developing this note to say that we'll start at 7. Now,
Thank you. Good evening, Stonecrest. It is now 6:01. I'm George Turner, your Mayor Pro Tem, and we're going to have a slight adjustment in our schedule for the evening. At the end of last year, we voted to change our format for our meetings starting the first part of this year. Meetings have always started at 6 p.m., but the first hour was devoted to the work session. And starting at 7 o'clock, we went into the official business of the city, having a city council business meeting. We voted to modify that for 2021. We would have one meeting devoted strictly to work session. And the second meeting would be devoted strictly to handling city council affairs and a formal meeting, if you will. Somehow that was a little bit jumbled up, and we had the first meeting at 6 p.m. on the 11th for the work session, and all went well. And the expectation was that the next meeting would be the council meeting, which was advertised. Well, when I say advertised, when we voted, it was printed in the schedule that we made public. All meetings would be starting at 6 p.m. But somehow the format for the previous meeting wound up being sent out to the public, which advertised 7 p.m. And first, let me apologize for the confusion. And speaking to our legal advisors, it would not be prudent, not legal, for us to advertise that a meeting is going to start at 7, although it was in error, and actually started at 6. But we can have informal discussions starting at 6 and go into the official meeting at 7 p.m. So we will just do a little housekeeping matters between now and 7 o'clock, and perhaps talk about some of the things that we can include on future meetings. But whatever we do between now and 7 p.m. is considered informal. And again, I apologize for any confusions that may have occurred as a result of the wrong time being sent out on the agenda that said 7 p.m. when the meeting actually starts at 6 p.m. So from now on, work session will start at 6 p.m. First meeting of the month, which is the second Monday of the month, and the city council meeting will start at 6 p.m. the fourth Monday of the month. And we hope to send that out without notices, correct each and every time. So again, what we do now is going to be a bit informal, and we'll just open it up to council. Anyone else who want to kind of break the ice and bring us up to date since we last met. Did we cover that, Mr. Bell?
yes, we did.
And you put something out on the Facebook and YouTube?
Well, the Facebook ad was always at 7 p.m. What I can do is do somewhat of a screen share on this one. But to tell you the truth, if anyone logs in at the moment, right now we have 4 people watching, and one of those is me, just monitoring it. So if anyone logs in right now, they will see or hear the conversation that you have. So if I do a screen share, then that will get, that will kind of cover, I guess, both bases.
Okay. I just don't want us to be absent we did tell them we would start at 6, but I don't want us to start at 6 when it's been advertised advertised for 7 by way of the agenda.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Allen Jackson,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Just fine, thank you. You haven't given us anything since we talked before Christmas. How was your Christmas?
Yes, I had a great Christmas. And looking forward to a wonderful 2021.
Are you working on anything for the city of Stonecrest that you can share with us, or are you just
Well, the thing that I am most looking forward to working with you on is the budget retreat. I know we have an item on the agenda today to set a date for that. So I will be putting that agenda together. I know Player sent you some notes and things. I believe discussed some notes with you already. I will be instrumental in putting that together and planning our agenda for that. So the game plan.
I better stop you. You might be ahead of yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, as long as you all don't make a decision, it'll be okay. But during this time period, you're right, since it is informal. But yes, that is one of the major projects that I was asked to work on.
Okay. Well, good. Glad to have
So I'm
you.
hoping, which is to say, I'm hoping that you all get a date set today.
I think I have a concurrence from all of the city council members. Ms. Reed, there you are.
I was able to log in finally.
Did you hear our explanation as to why we're on at 6 instead of 7?
Yes, I've spoken with Chris, and hopefully we can get it fixed before the next council meeting. Everyone's
right.
on the same page.
Yeah, since we're being informal,
Yes.
and since Ms. Reed is here, in regarding the agenda, I was intending to ask you this offline, but I guess this is a great time. Is there a reason why we went to the format with the public hearings, like in one space and then new business at another space? I know before we wasn't doing that. I'm certain there is a reasoning for it, but it seemed like sometimes we follow the agenda and actually, have the public hearing, and then we'll circle back to the new business portion, and then sometimes we don't. So I just was wondering the reasoning behind it.
I guess to answer your question, the formal and the correct way to do it is to have the public hearings first, listen to everything, and then make your decisions next. That's when you guys are supposed to discuss, your thoughts and things like that. So the public hearings just for the.
Yeah, I get that part.
Yeah.
But no, before what we was doing, like we have the public hearing, then right after that public hearing, for that particular ordinance or whatever it is, the SLUP or whatever it would be, we would come, immediately behind that, and we would vote, if I remember correctly. And then
Right.
The way it is now is like we listen to all of the public hearings. Then we have like in this agenda, I think we have, of course, let me just make certain. Then we have old business, and then we come back to actually cast our votes on the hearings.
So it should be public hearing and then your decisions on the public hearings right after the public hearings. So you should be public hearings, then new business, but your decision is separate from the public hearing itself.
Right, I get right, and that I'm saying, yeah. So it's like
So it needs to be flip-flopped.
Well, when we look at number 11 on the current agenda, and you see
Yes.
like say new business, and then number 10 is old business, and then go back up, number 9 is the public hearings. So you're right. I mean, we normally, we have the public hearings, we have the public comments, we go through that whole thing, and then we will close the public hearing. and then we would, vote. Then we would do the voting session. But the only thing different, I guess, from what we're doing now is that earlier, a couple of years, a year or so ago, we would just have like item A. We would have the public hearing, close item A, then we would cast our votes. Then we go to item B, on and on, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter to me, other than I was just asking since we were being informal. So, this is all kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
off the record kind of stuff. We're just talking. So,
Yeah,
Well,
but I think it doesn't matter.
I
in
think
terms
what
of-
we, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my previous experience, not with the city of Stonecrest, but we wouldn't have it listed like you all have, like, we just had the agenda straight down, and we didn't have like new business, old business, public hearings. It would say what it was beside it. So if it was a public hearing for an alcohol license, which we had to have a lot of, you would do the public hearing, alcohol license 001. And then below that, the next item would be let's say that was item 3. Item 4 would be decision for alcohol 001. So what we could do is under new business, just put public hearing and then that item, and then the next item, decision for rezoning application. And that could probably, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
That is the way we handled it at the last meeting, although it was listed the way it's listed now.
Mhm.
And I think what Councilman Clanton is asking, when did it change and why did it change? In fact, we asked the question of legal, and they essentially said, well, you can do it either way. But
Yeah.
Personally, I liked it the old way, whereas we get the presentation, we deliberate, then we vote. Then we go to the next one, get the presentation, deliberate, then vote.
So I think what you guys, so if you have it listed as a public hearing, you don't make a decision in a public hearing.
Well,
we
what
close
we
the
do
public
though
hearing.
is that
Right,
we
but
open
you're
public
still
hearing
under,
and close
but-
public hearing between each item.
right, but you're still under the section that's public hearings only.
I could understand that if we didn't close public hearing after each case. We could
Right.
open public hearing and hear all 3 cases at one time. I could understand it then. But we close public hearing after each case.
So when you close the public hearing, the next item on the agenda is the next public hearing,
Deliberation on the one that we just closed.
but it's not listed that way.
I know. What I'm saying is,
So-
what we're saying is that it was listed that way. Did someone determine that it was wrong and it should be done this way?
This was the way that it was done. I just kept going with the format that you guys had.
No, that's not the format we had.
That's the way it was.
Okay, then that's something we need
But
to,
y'all need to, what
that needs to be probably a work session item.
Well, what I would say is just take the title public hearings off of there. If we have new business, you do new business, public hearing, item 1, and then the next letter would be B, and it would be decision for public hearing or decision for rezoning item 1.
Yeah.
If the way you guys want to handle it, then that's the way it needs to be done.
Well, that was the intent of my question. I was just,
Okay.
I was just trying to figure out the reasoning behind it. Because if there was some kind of decorum or if there was some sort of norm that was associated with the new outline, then that's fine. I didn't know if it was just, a matter of personal choice or what, but I agree with your last statement. If we can put all of that under new business, public hearing, then have the deliberation, that'll be great because I think if we look back at the videotapes, I think we're going to find that in a couple of cases, we might have actually conducted business in that way. And then we came down the agenda and we said, oh, well, we already taken care of that. We already made
Y'all have done that a couple of times.
exactly. So
Well, I'll just change it so that the way that the agenda flows, it'll be
I'm fine. Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even at that, let's just add it to the, let's consider adding it to the work session next time around, and we'll get a legal opinion on it to make sure that we are correct.
Exactly. Because we're not making any official decisions here.
No.
It's informal conversation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
I'll get some examples.
Okay. And some other examples is I've listened to the Cobb County public hearing. They allow the public to come in on Zoom and make their comments. And I know we looked at that at one point in time, but we never did follow up on it.
One of my fellow clerks, they allowed that as well, and they got hacked,
Okay.
and it was not pretty. So I think we were doing the safety route on that one of not letting them come in and do it that way. And Adrian would probably be the best one to listen to that. But yeah, that was our reason for not allowing it at that time.
But here again, someone has to make a decision whether or not that's what we want to do. And I know hacking is an issue, whether it's public hearing or just a general meeting. So
Right. We definitely don't want to end up like City of Atlanta and their hacking scandal. Was it last year or year before last?
well, I wouldn't put that on public hearing.
The
Oh.
consensus has been basically that Zoom meetings are not totally safe. Zoom has been trying to improve their safety of these meetings. But the last time that I heard something, there was a government meeting that was, no, it was actually a school that was hacked with pornography in the middle of their meetings. And so we chose this way just because I can monitor who is in and who is out. That seemed to be the best way at the time. It can be changed, but do so with the knowledge that there is a real good chance of some things going awry with it.
I hear you. I don't necessarily understand it, but I hear you. I don't see how that's more of a risk than any other situation we're in.
Well,
whoever comes in, they've got to be asked to be let in, and you know who's coming in, and they have to give name, address, and the same as if they were signing a card to come in.
right.
But that's something we can discuss as well.
Yeah, well, the issue goes to what they call Zoom bombing. And what that is, it's not really a hack as much as it is an agitation. So what happened is, just like Adrian was saying, people that actually sign the list, since you don't really know who these people are, they put any name, they can make up any name they want to, put that name on the list, say that they are in any particular community, then they wait their term, and then when their term come up, they would either say something or do something or show something on their Zoom cam that is inappropriate. And so, I mean, the damage is done before you can really stop them from doing it. So I don't know if that's a prevailing problem, say in DeKalb County, but it is on a national scale. It's a big, big deal. Matter of fact, a lot of people do that stuff and then they are posted on YouTube. So it's kind of live on forever. So they get like medals of honor for bombing certain Zoom meetings that are open to the public. So I do think, though, that we should definitely talk about a way to get real-time input. It doesn't have to be on Zoom. Like I keep saying, it can be on email. And plus we still have those people that actually showing up to City Hall that also are able to, chime in. But I think what citizens what I'm hearing, what they really want is real-time input, during the meeting, as opposed to having to send an email prior to the meeting and, not knowing whether, the dynamics may or may not have changed.
And honestly, I don't see how it's considered equal time if the developer has access to Zoom and can address the council by way of Zoom and take questions, dialogue, if you will. But those who are opposed to it do not get that same privilege. So I'm just hoping we can find a way to make it work. I know we don't want to censor, but in some situations, I know you have a 10-second delay where you can shut it off if it's inappropriate.
That may be the case, but I didn't know Zoom would allow for that. But if they do that, that would be a good option.
Well, I'm not sure about Zoom, but I know in some broadcasting situations.
Yeah. But it's
We
certain.
are in a 10-second delay. However, if I were to shut something off, I'd shut the whole meeting off
Oh, really? Okay.
because it cuts off all broadcasting. So, for example, if you just said something and I didn't want to hit YouTube, really, to tell you the truth, no, I can't even do that because if I just wanted to retract my last comment, I don't think even if I cut the recording, it still is going to play out what it is already recorded. So I don't know of a way yet that Zoom has created to where you can really do like television stations do, and you have a delay, and so if somebody says something or does something, you can blot it out. I don't know that Zoom has that feature.
Okay, I committed to try, and I'm going to continue to look for a way that we can safely afford the public the same access to counsel for these public hearings as we do the applicants.
Yeah, I would tell you something. If whenever you got a minute, go on YouTube and type in Zoom trolling, TROLLING, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. And you see, it's not really even hiking because you remember you are letting these people in, and so these guys, they collect all their little trolls and they put them on their YouTube channel, and they just basically make fun of all sorts of things. Now, of course, they all get cut off eventually, and then so you have to Adrian will be able to put on mute or even just take them off altogether. But it is something that we certainly probably could circle back around and talk to, because we could use the lobby or waiting room for that particular portion of the council meeting, so that they won't be in the entire council meeting for the entire session. So
You're talking about a virtual lobby, a virtual waiting room?
Correct. Yes, sir. Yeah, so it's some things. I agree with you. It may be something that we can talk about at some length, in another arena.
Okay. All right, and we don't want to get into editing. I know we don't want to be accused of that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing what people do when they got a lot of time and you have COVID lurking in the background. So you're all at home. So, everybody's on Zoom. And so, I mean, you have, these are, when you look at it, you'll see that these are kids, from 8 years old all the way up to 80-year-olds that doing this kind of foolishness. And, they think it's funny. And some of them are actually funny, but, nonetheless, it's destructive. But it is interesting.
Very talented and creative.
Yeah, I guess.
In a negative sense.
In a negative way, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let me just do the, I don't want to call it a disclaimer again, but to notify the public, for those who might have just tuned in. Our new format calls for a work session for the first meeting of the month, and the city council meeting is the second meeting of the month, second Monday. And all of the meetings are supposed to start at 6 p.m. Somehow this one was advertised for 7 p.m. because we had a format, I believe, of 6 o'clock work session and 7 o'clock council meeting. But since the work session is not officially a part of this meeting, 7 o'clock showed up as the starting time for this meeting. But the actual time for all meetings will be 6 p.m. And since that was our new schedule, 6 p.m., we did go ahead and open Zoom at 6 p.m. But since we had advertised 7 p.m., we were advised that legitimately we cannot start the meeting, and it makes sense. We cannot start the meeting until 7 p.m. So we're just having informal discussions, waiting on the appointed time of 7 p.m. that went out on the agenda that was published. But the actual time should be 6 p.m. So next month, expect the work session to start at 6 p.m. on the second Monday, and the city council meeting to start at 6 p.m. on the fourth Monday and for the rest of the year, unless otherwise notified. Now, did any other council members join us yet?
Oh, no, sir, they have not.
Okay. Mr. Farrell,
Yes, sir.
anything new to share with us that's happening in code enforcement?
Well, let's see. Still pretty busy.
You ought to be.
Got a lot of things going on. We are working hand in hand with the business license office to, I think when I last checked with Matthew, who's handling that project, he's probably identified and or helped purge about 100 businesses that were from the Cobb County days. So he's going physically to these locations, working with Nikki in the office to try to verify these businesses have licenses and are still active in the, in the community. What else? Officer Taylor, she's actually working on our apartment inspection program and our apartment compliance and sweeps. So we do have in District 2, we have the Somerset condos coming to court probably, I think, at the end of February. We wrote them about 80 citations for various violations. I wouldn't recommend driving through there right now, but if you ever do go down Hillendale and jump into Somerset during the day, you can see why we're there, why we wrote them citations in court. So we'll be dealing with that.
You said District 2, is that Somerset's in District 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. Then let's see, we have a signed inventory working with Chris and Tiana in the planning and zoning side. So we've actually had a meeting last week with Chris, myself, Officer White, Tasha White, who's handling that project. So we're gonna probably, based off whatever happens tonight with the sign ordinance, with the freestanding sign piece, we'll determine how we proceed with some of these abandoned signs as far as, dealing with them and getting them, up to code as it relates to our current sign ordinance. Also, and some of this will be coming out in my end of the year report that I'll give to players here probably at the end of this week. But also we're doing the gas station, liquor store, and convenience store inspections. And I think William did probably, I think 3 more. So we have a meeting on Friday, him and I, to discuss which 3 other locations he did. So we have probably about 6 to 7 that are outstanding that we've done so far since that program started. We were trying to do 1 a quarter. That's still our plan. So we're trying to get caught back up because we kind of slowed down last year due to the pandemic. So that's what we're doing, trying to get these places cleaned up as best we can. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. So it's, it's a slow process. Ideally, in the perfect world, if I had 2 more officers, I think we would probably be, a little bit more, balanced. But, the reason we didn't ask for anybody because it didn't, it wasn't that we didn't need them. It's just the pandemic kind of said, let me just take a look at and see how we make it through the pandemic first, and then we'll go from there. So that's good.
Well, speaking of the pandemic, and someone asked me about the mask enforcement within the city limits. And I basically replied that that is one that the Cobb County is handling. But I noticed a couple of our hotels, and I'm glad to see them doing good business, but they were the parking lot at least was quite crowded. Mm-hmm. So that's something we take a look at, or call the Cobb County to take a look at?
The best thing to do, I mean, we don't enforce it per se. Only thing we've done since the pandemic started, a few complaints that we have received, we would just go out there and post what the judge and the judges, I mean, not the judge's order, but the governor's orders are, during the pandemic, as well as any orders that, the mayor may have put out as well. So that's what we've done, but that is truly based on what the governor said, that is and has mandated. That is truly a law enforcement or health department function. So they pretty much handle it. I mean, we just go put like I said, whatever the current orders are, or emergency, order that's in place. And we do have those conversations. I mean, we haven't had a lot, I think, since the pandemic, maybe 5 complaints total about businesses. And then we would just kind of refer them, if we do receive them, we refer them to DeKalb PD. If it's a restaurant, we usually refer it to the health department, or a public space like that, like a hotel, same thing. Because the health department actually does inspections of the hotels anyway. So they do, some kind of inspection program. And at some point we plan to partner with them on some of those inspections. We had talked about it early last year before the pandemic, but of course that has since changed a little bit. So, so we're planning to do that. And our hopes are at the end of this year, we will probably have instituted something along those lines with them. So.
Good. All right. Well, speaking of the health department, I got my first shot.
Okay.
And I was one of the first ones to use the inside of the new city hall. And it was set up quite well. And I thought it went relatively smooth.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And I don't think it's on the agenda, but we're going to save a little bit more of that for the agenda to get an update as to where we stand with our cooperation with DeKalb County in making all of that happen. All right. Anyone else? We're going to take a break in a couple of minutes and get ready for the 7 o'clock meeting.
I'm good, sir.
All right. Then if there are no other comments, I do thank you for your time and apologize again for the mix up in the scheduling. The meeting tonight will start at 7 p.m., but that is an adjustment because the agenda went out with 7 p.m. on it, and it should be 6 p.m. in the future. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll be back promptly at 7. Go and grab a snack and be ready. All right. Mr. Bell, you can either leave it open or close it. It doesn't matter. As long as you can leave that up there. It says.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that on as a screenshot.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And I'll just mute. Mute.
Hey, everybody. Is my background? I'm sitting in a different spot.
No, we see.
No, I'm saying, is it too busy? Should I try to get, I'm having connectivity issues with, and I think,
No, if you
okay.
can tilt your screen down a little bit, because we're seeing kind of no, the other way.
Oh,
There we
no.
go.
It's all the way up.
There we
Oh,
go.
okay. Okay. All right.
Well, Happy New Year, folks. 7 o'clock.
Happy New Year to you, Mr.
Happy New Year, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor. How you doing?
Doing just fine. Doing just fine.
It is 7 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
And we said we would start precisely at 7. So good evening to you. Welcome to the first City Council meeting of Stonecrest for 2021. We had a meeting to start at 6 o'clock, but we could not officially begin the meeting because it was published as 7 o'clock with the agenda. So now we're ready to officially go into the meeting. And at this point in time, Madam City Clerk, will you do us the honor of a roll call, please?
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Councilman Turner. I appreciate that. Meeting this evening. Madam Clerk, we'll call us in.
Wait a
Question,
minute.
point of order. Is the attorney on the line?
Yes, sir.
We excuse the mayor from these meetings. Does that mean he can return and chair the meeting before the appointed time?
Sure. I mean, he requested a leave.
Yes.
But he can certainly come back. I mean, we cannot say that the mayor would be disqualified from attending a meeting because of his leave request. I think he can come back when he feels it's appropriate for him to come back.
That is today. Thank you, Councilman.
Well,
Do we need to modify the excusal?
yeah, because that was voted on, and
Yeah, man, it was voted on, Councilman, even for different meeting times and days. And so we're not even meeting the same time and days. So with
I
that.
beg pardon? I don't understand that.
You didn't hear what I said, or you misunderstood me?
You said we're meeting different times and days.
That's correct. We even had different meeting times and days for the excusal. So let me thank you for your service. I appreciate you filling in for me while I was out. I'm back now.
Should we go in, point of order, should we go into executive session then?
No, we should not.
If.
Thank you for that.
Mayor, City Attorney, may I ask a question? Should we go into executive session, City Attorney, if we're dealing with personnel matters? Because this would then require a vote. So should we do that out of the public's view?
Yes, executive session is appropriate for personnel. I'm curious what the person, if the personnel matter relates to the mayor.
The mayor's return. remember, we voted for him to take leave. So I don't want to be too divulging here, but shouldn't we take care of that first?
If there's a vote of the council to go into executive session, you can go into executive session.
I have a question in reference to this. I just want an understanding. So we voted to give the mayor leave until March. So was anything in that stated that he could come back before then, or was it a specific date, or was just the date that he had to, I guess, stay out until he came back? Mr. Attorney.
My recollection is that the mayor requested leave until March. There was no provision in that particular request, the motion or the vote, that he would return sooner. It was the mayor's request to take leave, and the council granted his request. And so since he was making a request as opposed to the council taking action, I think that's the distinction. So he made his request and he can withdraw his request because he was requesting leave. If it were the other way, if the council said you cannot come back until March, then it wouldn't be his choice. But he made the request. It was his request to take leave.
I understand.
And so he can say, well, now I no longer need leave, and so I withdraw my request.
So I guess Mr. Attorney, and excuse me, Mayor, the only reason why I asked about the executive session was because if the mayor felt the need to ask for the request in executive session and have that discussion, I'm just wondering, why are we not doing that for him to come back? Just so that everybody is clear, we have an opportunity to have all of the misconceptions or questions that surround his personal business done in executive session.
I didn't request that in executive session, Councilwoman. We did that in the open. We didn't go into executive session for that.
We voted in executive session. We discussed it. We voted in public. We discussed it in executive session.
Yeah, we discussed it in executive session, Mayor. You don't remember?
Yeah. Well, thank you all for your concerns.
Will you be back? Will you continue to come back then, Mayor? Let me ask you that.
I am back.
You're back officially.
I am back. I am back.
So do we need a motion to amend the excusal?
Leave is over. Is that right? Mayor, I'm sorry. Mayor, that means your leave is over?
I am back, Councilwoman. So
do we need a motion to amend the excusal through March and modify that to through whatever today's date is? What's today?
25th.
I think you do, because technically the mayor would be excused from attending meetings up until the date stated in the motion. And as he's indicated, he's back. So obviously he does not need to be excused until March. Right. So that's still of record presently. So just to clear the record and to keep everything clean, there should be a vote such that the mayor is no longer requesting and the council has no longer extended leave through March.
So do we need to add that to the agenda and do that through the agenda, or do we need to jump the agenda to do it now? Because just out of curiosity, because technically, I guess George can continue until we get to that part of the meeting, and then the mayor can take over from there. And what's the most appropriate, I guess, order of things?
That's obviously a council decision in terms of how it, in terms of the order and how it happens. The mayor is present, and so, I guess it should be dealt with accordingly.
City Attorney Denmark, the excusals were done right after the roll call. So I guess if we were discussing, or if the council's discussing attendance, that probably should go under roll call.
That works just as good as anything else.
And that's where we were. We were about to have roll call.
All right.
All right. Councilmember Jimmy Clanton.
Here.
Councilmember Rob Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Jasmine Cobble.
Here.
Councilmember George Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Tammy Grimes.
Here.
Mayor Jason Larry,
Here.
we have a quorum.
At this time, we have the mayor voting present after having been excused from the city council meeting. Is there a motion for action?
Well, with the, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I will make the motion to, for action to absolutely bring the mayor back and suspend the excuse. I'm assuming that that would be the proper form, but I would defer to Attorney Denmark to put it in proper words. But my thing is this, is that if the mayor is actually back, I don't understand. I mean, only thing we're doing, if we decide, for instance, not to to suspend the excuse, is that he would be able to be excused at any point in time between now and March. But by the mere fact that the mayor is in his seat on council, seems as if to me that he's now acting as mayor, because I don't think at any point in time he relinquished his duty as mayor, as we can all attest to. So, I'm fine with going through the motions of doing this, but, again, if that's what we're required to do, Attorney Denmark, then that's fine. Just forward me the words, or just, how would this motion need to be posed?
Yeah, Councilman Clayton, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, and just to be clear, I mean, the mayor, if he says he's back, then he's back. And it would be true of any elected official, they can't be prohibited from attending meetings that they were elected to attend. The only issue before the council this evening is the vote to excuse the mayor from attending meetings until March. And the council would be now voting so that the mayor would not be excused from attending meetings until March, or from any further meetings. And that's the only issue before the council. And if there was not a vote to rescind the vote to excuse him, then the mayor would still be able to attend meetings, but he would just be excused whenever he saw fit between now and March. So that's the only issue, whether he's excused from attending meetings or not whether he's allowed to actually attend. He's allowed to attend by virtue of the election.
So you're saying pretty much this vote is mute in reference to what we want to do and what we need to do to move forward, right?
No, so what I'm saying is that it would still be on record that the mayor's excused until March. So if he didn't come to a meeting, it would say, well, I'm excused anyway, because that vote is still on the record. So we want to just get that vote off the record so that he's not excused from future meetings.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
And
Is that
that
a
doesn't
motion,
have
Mr.
to take place in executive session, Mayor.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I think Mr. Councilman Clanton was making a motion. Did you complete that?
I don't have a motion at this time. I just wanted to, a point of clarity.
Okay. Councilwoman Grimes.
Yes, point of clarity as well. So, Attorney Denmark, vote wouldn't have to be in executive session because we voted in the public. Is that what you're saying? So we could do the vote to.
Yes, ma'am. And just to be clear, there's no conversation that must be in executive session. The law says what we may go into executive session for. So we can talk about real estate, personnel, and litigation in open session if we chose. The law just says that if you choose to, you can go into executive session, discuss those limited things. So there's nothing that requires us to go into executive session ever. However, in this case, if the council wanted to go into executive session, you could, but there's nothing that says you must.
Thank you.
So then again, for a level of clarity, we are voting to rescind his leave. Am I correct? That's
exactly right.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, waiting on a motion. We need a motion for action one way or the other. I'll initiate it. I move that we rescind the mayor's excused absence for medical leave until further notice.
I second.
It's been properly moved in second that we rescind the mayor's excused absence until further notice. Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye, starting with District 1.
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4 is aye, District 5.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. The mayor is the subject, so he doesn't get to vote. Okay, at this point, the mayor is in his seat and the gavel is virtually passed back to Mayor Jason Larry. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I appreciate that. I'm going to move as we add the agenda here with the under old business. I'm going to move old business under right after appointments before public comments.
Mr. Mayor, I hate to interfere,
Sure.
but normally we have invocation and the pledge to the Pledge of Allegiance. You
Yes, sir.
bypass those.
No, we can still go in that order, but I was just making council aware of what order I was going to.
Okay,
But thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Rob Turner, if you do the invocation, please, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let us pray. Our Father, which is in heaven, hallowed is your holy name. We come to you asking for your presence, your power, and anointing to flow in our meeting tonight. We know that we can do nothing without you. We submit to your authority as we continue to serve those you have placed in our care. Let us always be mindful that we represent you in everything that we do and that you are to be glorified in us and through us. Thank you for giving us wisdom and insight as we make decisions that will enhance, protect, and provide for the quality of life for our citizens. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as we move, I'll move through the minutes, but then I'm going to move up the an item on the old business. But let's go through the minutes first. Approval of the November 2nd, 2020 FY21 budget approval minutes.
I'm going to ask that we defer both sets of minutes, seeing that we did not receive the agenda packet with the minutes in it until Saturday evening. Can we please defer those to the next regular scheduled council meeting?
To take each one of those. So as in A, Councilwoman Cowell, I'll take your motion.
I move that we defer the minutes for December 14th into the next regular scheduled council meeting.
Properly moved. Do I have a second?
Yes. Second.
Excuse me. The first one was November 2nd and she stated December 14th. Does she want to restate her motion for November 2nd?
Did the agenda, unless I'm looking at,
You're looking at the old one, the one from Saturday that came out had November 2nd. That one was left off.
Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that gets to be confusing. I'm looking at the one
Right.
for the 14th as well.
So there are two agendas. There
The one that's on the packet that was sent out Saturday,
has a different agenda than the one you sent out Wednesday.
all it has is added the November 2nd budget approval minutes.
That's the only difference in the agenda?
Yes, and I
Okay.
stated that in the body of the email that I sent out as well.
So we have 3 sets of minutes to approve.
Yes,
Or defer.
Okay.
Correct.
So what's the date? November what?
2nd,
All right. So I'm in that motion to defer the minutes for November 2nd to the next regular scheduled council meeting.
Second.
All right, properly moved in second. District 1,
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4,
Aye.
District 5,
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Approval of the December 14th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes.
Mr.
I move
Mayor,
that we
make a
defer
motion.
the minutes for December 14th to the regular schedule, the next regular scheduled council meeting.
Properly moved by Councilwoman Cobble, second by Councilman Rob Turner.
Yes, second.
All right. District 1,
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4,
Aye.
District 5.
Aye.
Right. Approval of the December 28th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes.
I move that we defer the December 28th city council meetings to the next regular scheduled council meeting.
All right, properly moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, properly moved in second. District 1,
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4,
Aye.
District 5.
Aye.
Properly moved and moved to the next meetings. Right. I'm going to take one item from the old business. I'll leave the TMOD 20-002, but the budget retreat date, I'm going to move it up to now before presentations, which we don't have any. Folks, the reason I want to spend this time and moment with regards to our, well, it says budget retreat date. It should just really be just a retreat date, period. Budget can be in it, but we need a retreat. So the reason I bring this up front before we handle any of the businesses on the agenda, first of all, there are a couple of you, of course, that work full-time jobs, and I want to be sensitive to that nature. But we need a mayor council retreat so that we can all get on the same page as to where we're going with our city, what we're doing, the policies that we're looking to put in place, and how we're going to grow and move. I don't know. I'll just point out the councilwomen that are still working full-time jobs. So along with the staff that we have, what is a proposed date for you all? Because the rest of us, I'm of course full-time here, but the other three are retired. So I want to extend that to Councilwoman Cobble and Councilwoman, Councilwoman Grimes, to see what's available date for you all.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm not expecting you to be back at this meeting. We had polled the council,
Okay.
and we tentatively agreed upon Thursday at 6 p.m. of this week.
What are we going to accomplish on Thursday at 6 p.m. of this week?
That would be starting the retreat. And depending on how much we get accomplished in 3 to 4 hours will determine whether or not we would have a follow-up retreat.
I think you can already schedule for that.
Okay. We'll get the first one done. Well, that's what we had tentatively agreed upon. And that's
Okay.
going to be undone. I just wanted to let you know that that was what we tentatively agreed upon.
All right. I'm fine with that. But what I would like to achieve in this retreat is goal setting and many, many other things that I think that we need to take a look at as a body as a whole to be able to move forward for what we're doing, particularly in the environment that we have today. So if Thursday's that day, we can start there.
May I?
Yes, ma'am.
So to Councilman Turner's, I apologize, to Councilman Turner's point, we have discussed over a few work sessions, council meetings, that we would be setting that date for a budget retreat because there are budget amendments that we would like to make. So I really would hate to see us push that back even farther. We have gone enough time now where we need to make some adjustments to that budget, and we are prepared to do that. And the first step to do that was to set this budget retreat, which staff has been included on to set those dates. So I don't know, what everybody else is feeling on this is, but we have a subject and a date and time already being, like George said, discussed between everyone. And that is specific to the budget. So if we are going to do some other things like goal setting and things of that sort, I would love and recommend that we separate that so that we do not belabor our budget amendments and that we can get through those changes and keep the budget retreat as it is tentatively set for Thursday.
What's the feeling of other council?
I'd like for us to get the budget retreat taken care of as soon as possible.
Thursday at 6 o'clock is still my vote.
So the subject matter that you all want to stick to is just the budget. Is that what
That would be the prime.
Okay. Then how about, since that's the case, this is the first time, of course, I'm hearing a date, but that's fine. Then let's set another date for a separate retreat for mayor and council while I have you all on the line. How about that?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
The date that they were talking about, I think, well, I don't know about everybody else, but I did talk to Councilman George Turner, and I certainly said that I would be in agreement with Thursday. However, we hadn't voted on the date, and that was part of what we was going to do today. So I do think it would probably be appropriate to set the two dates, and it could be part of the same vote.
I agree. So that leads me to ask about a second date. What would you all's availability be for the second date for mayor and council, which is equally, if not more important than just the budget retreat?
But because we did have time to look at our calendars for Thursday, I'd like to have the same opportunity and request that we vote on those dates separately.
Okay, pick a date then. What's your second date?
As I just stated, Mayor, I would have to have an opportunity to check my calendar and balance it against what I do on a 8 to 5 basis and vote on those two separately. And at another time for the second vote. Soon, but a second time.
What's the rest of the council feelings?
I have fair flexibility if it's in the evening. I've got, I know February, I've got a lot of appointments during the midday, but evening time, I'm fairly flexible.
Same here, Mr.
Relatively open. I'm open.
All right. Then what I suggest, Councilwoman Grimes, is that you have 4. I don't know about Ms. Cobble. I'll wait to hear from her. But you have
I think we all can. I think it goes, as without saying that obviously the two working people, just as we did for the budget retreat, needed time to evaluate calendars, and we did not do that at a moment's notice. We did take some time to evaluate that and to come up with something. So I would need to do the same. I need to look at my calendar and find a date that I'm not prepared to do at this very moment.
Okay. So I'll take emails from you, Councilwoman Cobble, and from Councilwoman Grimes on your proposed dates on or before this Thursday for your budget hearing. Is that acceptable?
Mayor, if maybe we can discuss this at our budget hearing right before we go live. We can maybe entertain that, and I can give you the dates and see how well they match up with the dates that you may propose. Because I'm kind of hearing that you're going to get us 4 dates, and then we can look at. Is that what you're saying? I don't want to assume anything.
No, what I was saying is by the time Thursday, you and Councilwoman Cobble should have some dates available to tell us when we will do the mayor and council retreat.
I think collaboratively, we might be able to come up with something. You're going to be there Thursday?
Certainly.
Okay, so maybe we can get on a little bit before and hash those dates out. I'm good with that.
Councilwoman Cowell,
Yeah, I'll have some ideas by Thursday.
thank you.
So are we technically on this item, budget retreat?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion
Oh.
that the budget retreat is set for Thursday, January 28th, 6 p.m.
Motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second,
All right. Point of discussion, will this be by Zoom or will this be in person?
Zoom.
Okay.
Zoom, I hope, and hopefully the second one will be in Zoom too. But I'm good either way.
Okay. That's this Thursday, 6 p.m.
Yes.
All right. Good deal. All right. End of discussion. Call for the question. District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
3.
Aye.
District 4.
Aye.
District 5.
aye.
Mayor. Aye.
Mr. Mayor, you brought that up when you were making adjustments to the budget. I'm sorry, to the agenda. And that was another item we wanted to add to the agenda that was brought to my attention. And that was that we did a summary of the work session. We wanted to bring that summary into the agenda.
Okay. The summary of the work session. Then you want to place it on the old business or new business?
That would be new business, I believe.
And when you say summary, Councilman Turner, what are we talking about?
We did a summary of all the things that we talked about in the work session that we believe needed action. And some of them may well be ready for action, and some may well not be ready for action.
Well, you'll have to select one because a summary means more than one.
Well, understand why we changed the format that we did. We changed it such that we could discuss these items in the work session and prepare them to go on the agenda in the council meeting for action, to not put them on there if they're not ready for action.
Understand that, but via our charter, you get to add one of those items.
That could be debated, but I would look at the moratorium on gas stations citywide.
We'll add that, but I see no action to be able to do that with regards to paper.
That was provided to everybody who attended the work session. They have it in hand and should have had a follow-up copy. Did not anticipate your participation tonight.
Well, I'm here, so the people that it affects the most would be Mr. Wheeler and Anna Maria Hazard. So as I look through the package here, as I read before, that there's no paper documentation in the package for me to be able to make a sound decision on being able to lead that situation.
5 out of 6 council members have that documentation, was discussed at length in the work session. And I believe they're ready for action one way or the other.
Mayor, it was sent to you on January the 12th.
Well, today is January 25th, my first day back. And this is where I sit with it today. But if you want to add it for discussion, Councilman, I'm fine with that. But what we're doing is talking about a moratorium for a whole city influence with regards to, where we are today, that's going against the comprehensive that we already have in place. And not to mention the possible lawsuits that we're going to find ourselves in by being able to do that. I think it requires a little bit more discussion and a little bit more headway than moving forward with it at this date.
We discussed this, well, since it's not, well, we'll discuss whether they add it to the agenda, but it was discussed at length and we got advice from legal as well. And we believe we're ready to take action one way or the other, to vote it up or vote it down.
Okay.
Yes, I did speak with the Attorney Hazard, and tonight can be the first read.
All right, Councilman Turner, that will be the one item that we add. Where would you like, sir?
New business,
Okay, we'll have that on new business.
that would be E, I believe. If I'm looking at the right agenda.
Right, so under new business, that would be A, B, C, D, E, correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Mayor, may I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Would it be okay if the city clerk would send out the agenda just so it's at the top of my email? I'm having some difficulty opening this Adobe, so if she could send it again, I would greatly appreciate that.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, I'll resend it to everyone. But it is exactly the same agenda that you received earlier. The only difference on there was under minutes. That was it.
I have a
Thank you,
question.
Madam. I'll await it.
When Councilwoman Grimes is done, I have a question.
I'm done. Thank you.
Yes, Madam Cobble.
So I want to make sure, thanks. I want to make sure that I have some clarity on how we are handling our new calendar for 2021. So we did vote and agree that we would have a work session on the first Monday, and then the items referred from the work session that were ready for action would go on the agenda for the second Monday, or the fourth Monday. So what I thought was that everybody kind of agreed that we were changing the calendar for that purpose. So are we going to still be held to one item if we have agreed and gone through, I think our last work session was what, 4, maybe 5 hours, hammered out quite a bit. So are we still going to be held to one item despite going through the work session and referring items to the agenda, because we have had lengthy discussion and we have decided that we are prepared to take action, whether it's approve or deny or defer, but we have agreed that we are prepared for action. Are we still going to be held to that one item despite kind of all that work that's going to be done in work session, or are we going to kind of amicably agree that things that are referred from work session we will see in the agenda?
So what we can do, Councilwoman Cobble, as we continue to move forward, and that's what's in our charter, we can have a discussion on that in the mayor council retreat. We can decide on that in the retreat, but as it sits today, that's the motion that you get. That's where we are.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. You want to answer my question at the retreat?
I want to answer your question. Yes, ma'am, at the retreat.
Okay. All righty.
Okay. We have no presentations. We have no appointments.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I have a question though, with regards to the Development Authority. I believe there was some appointments made.
We're not on that right now, Councilman. If you want to come back to that, that's not where we're going right now.
Okay.
Thank you. We're at public comments. Ms. Reed, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we have a few public comments. Let me get them together. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 public comments. At my
Ms. Reed, before you get started, I have 25 that have been sent to both you and me.
Are those public hearings for the rezoning?
You're about to read public comments for,
Just public comments, just the regular public comments, not the ones for the public hearings for like the rezoning of, because we had quite a few for those. And I had a lot of them emailed to me as well, but they were read during the planning commission. So I'm reading the ones that were not read in the planning commission that were not included in your packet.
and how many you say you have? Because I'd like to make sure that number is correct.
I have, well, for which one?
For the ones you say were not read, how many were not read?
Okay, so I have, well, that were not included in your packet because they're still left at that 10-minute public hearing window. They were still included in your packet. So if they were received before that meeting at the planning commission, they were included in your packet and we are not reading those tonight. But I do have, so for the item A, 5099 Browns Mill rezoning, I have 1, 2, 3. And then for the 5961 Chup Way, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have a petition as well for that one. And then for, I'm sorry, 5 for 5961 Chup Way plus a petition. And then I have 1 for C, which is 7300 Stonecrest Concourse.
Okay, who can, okay. The ones that were read into the zoning,
Yeah.
do you have the names of those?
They're in your packet. I don't have the names of those, but that's that 200 pages that you have received.
All right, what you just sent me does not open beyond 1 page. So.
What I
there's some
just
discrepancy.
sent you was,
Yeah.
right, that was just the agenda. Yeah.
Okay, let's just continue.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Right now, you're going to read public comment that's just general, not related to zoning, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then when we get to zoning, you'll read the public comments that are associated with each of those?
Exactly.
Okay.
Thought you said you weren't going to read those.
Oh, no, I am going to read those. I'm reading the ones that were sent to me after
Okay.
the planning commission meeting. Yes. Is everyone ready for me to read the public comments?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Let's see if I can get my camera working. Set my timer. Okay. This one is from Rogers Crossing HOA. Good morning. Hope this email finds you all well. Rogers Crossing HOA would like for the below to be read publicly during the next City of Stonecrest public comment section. Hope this email finds you well. The City Council of Stonecrest and its constituents well during this turbulent time. We are in need of your help at the Rogers Crossing subdivision. We have spoken about this numerous times at meetings, and it campaign promise of Mayor Larry to help us with a homeowner who feels their quarter acres is a car repair shop, auto storage facility, potential boarding home, and a continued parking obstacle of the Spring Hill Cove cul-de-sac. The homeowners of Spring Hill Cove have exhausted their patience with this blatant inconsideration from the 1819 Spring Hill Cove homeowner. Rogers Crossing HOA has exhausted their complaints with the City of Stonecrest code enforcement to where that we are just going around in circles. Issues within the last 90 days. Home that is for sale is having issues selling due to the surrounding area, eyesore, and these cars are encroaching to the front of the home's curb appeal. Car repairs are done during the evening hours, and these cars are ferried to the rear of the residence and brought to the front for repairs. Is this a valid business within the city of Stonecrest? Garbage service is being compromised due to the parked cars within the cul-de-sac. DeKalb County Sanitation has had issues getting their garbage truck and maneuvering within the cul-de-sac. DCS has forsaken a trash service in the past weeks. We have sought legal counsel through our HOA attorney to help us with the direction to rid the community of this type of inconsideration and any future issues, but that has its legal challenges. We were hoping that the city of Stonecrest was the force that was needed to help us with this issue, and we believe that it has become a moot point. Code enforcement has been quite diligent in keeping their records and updates available. Thank you for taking time for our complaint to be read during the public comments, and we hope everyone continues to keep well. Respectively, Rogers Crossing HOA.
Madam Clerk,
Yes.
you were choppy a little bit.
Okay.
Read the part again about the mayor.
It was a campaign promise of Mayor Larry to help us with a homeowner who feels like their 0.25 acres is a car repair shop.
Okay.
Is that enough?
I don't know who they're talking about, but I'll and it came from Rogers Crossing HOA?
Yes.
Mayor's campaign promise. Okay. Councilman Clanton, is that District 1?
That is District 1. Mr. Mayor, I haven't heard anything regarding that. We did send code enforcement out there. I think Mr. Farrell is online right now and he can attest to this. We sent code enforcement out there in our first month, I believe it was, to deal with that issue. And I think the issue was dealt with, but I don't know whether or not it's appropriate for us to have this conversation at this point in time. But either way, yes, sir, we definitely jumped on that. And I think even in her letter or in their letter, they said that code enforcement has been out there a number of times. So I think it's maybe something else going on. I'm not certain.
Mr. Mayor, this is Alejandro Ferrer. Can I speak for a moment, or do you want to?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, we've been out there, as Councilman Clanton said, probably at least 4 or 5 times since the city has been a city. We actually cited the property owner, I want to say in 2018. He came to court. He paid a fine of about $500. I mean, it took us, myself and Officer Kirkland, probably about 6 months. We went out there with the police. On numerous occasions, he wouldn't come to the door. Only reason he came to the door this time, his mama owned the house at that time, and she came down from New York, and she came to the door and basically gave him up. Now she has since transferred the house back into her son's name. She's kind of, out of the picture. We do have an open case on it. Officer Kirkland did go out in December 2020 and issue a notice. I'll have him follow up to see what's going on. We issued a cease and desist notice. We have had police come out there when they've spoken about the cars in the cul-de-sac. They've either red tagged them or they removed them or they had current tags on them. So there's nothing they can do. If they're on the street and they don't have current tags, they're inoperable. They red tag them. They give them 5 days to remove the vehicle. If they remove the vehicle, if they put it on the property, it becomes my issue or code enforcement's issue. If they are gone, PD said, hey, the issue's gone. We move on to the next, issue. So that's where we're at. But I will have something for you and council, probably by Friday of this week with some more information. But that's where we're at. So.
Thank you, sir. Of course, I'm going to be sensitive to someone says that I made a campaign promise on an individual household. I'm going to have to look into that. I make campaign promises on entire markets like Stonecrest. So thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. The next one is from Brian Caswell. He would like to ask the council and commissioners to please consider opening Browns Mill Rec Center to businesses that rely on and use the facility. Also made available to public and allow programs like the businesses use their pandemic safety measures to prevent all but allow businesses to operate. The next one is from Melanie Cox. Hello, Ms. Reed. Will you please pose my question and comment during tonight's city council meeting? Thank you very much. I'm really concerned the way we look to folks outside of Stonecrest and just plainly how we treat one another. The pledge joiner guy is the deputy city manager and appears to be running the city pretty smoothly from the outside looking in. But the council keeps talking about needing a city manager. How does the council think the city is running? It's not running itself or can run itself. The pledge joiner dude obviously has been managing the city for the last 2 years. Why are they looking past and quite frankly disrespecting the work this guy Pledge has done and is doing for our city? I'm so glad he hasn't walked away and left the city high and dry because of the council's disrespect and blatant insults, especially from the little light-skinned girl and the other one that steps in as sub when the mayor is out. Joyner seems to be extremely valuable, super professional, deeply knowledgeable, and possess the patience of the job to deal with the council's blatant disregard for the fact that he has been running and keeping the city together for all this time. Certain members of the council will be the death of the city. Thank you for reading. A sad citizen. P.S. Wasn't this guy one of the founding members of the city?
Madam Clerk, can you repeat who that was from?
Melanie Cox.
Thank you.
All right, the next one is from Aretha Jackson. Why does the city council split hairs over something like how the mayor wrapped up a meeting? The pro tem stated that the mayor was either deferred, suspended, or ended, but they split hairs of whether the mayor abruptly or softly or how ever he ended it. Why do they do that and spend nearly 45 minutes discussing such an elementary splitting of hairs versus using the time to talk about all the crime, litter, and unemployment over along Farrington Road, which I think is considered either District 3 or 5. Who is the council person in those areas? Trash is overrun in some of the apartment complexes with cats, other vermin, and animals. I visited a friend in one of those apartments off Farrington and almost stepped on a used condom near my parking space. Who is the council persons responsible for these areas, and why aren't they talking about these things, both of which are nasty and could pose a public health issue with disease and the like? I, like most of the residents that live here, only want what's best for the area in Stonecrest, and if they are supposed to be a council and about the so-called businesses of their constituents, then why don't they spend the time talking about overrun trash, visible vermin, used condoms on the pavement, crime, and unemployment in these particular areas versus how the mayor ended a meeting? Thank you so much for reading, addressing my question, and hearing out my comment. Aretha Jackson. And that's all the public comments I have for tonight.
Okay. All right, we'll move to public hearings. Mr. Will, what's your pleasure?
Yes, sir. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So the first case brought to you this evening, sir, is RZ 20-007. It's 59 Brownsville Road. The applicant was heard at the last planning commission meeting on January 14th. The applicant was recommended for deferral. Staff is in agreement with that, as the applicant is working to address a couple of outstanding items with the applicant. The applicant is here to make the official request for a deferral until the next planning commission meeting. Staff does recommend that the applicant be deferred to the February 2nd planning commission meeting, but it's up to council if they choose to choose another date. But the applicant is here to make the official request.
All right. Madam Attorney, do we actually open the public hearing to do such?
Mr. Mayor, this is Emily. I'm here. Anna Maria is absent today. She is ill.
Yes, ma'am.
She asked me to stay. You would need to still have your public hearing, sir.
Okay. I'm going to take a motion to open the public hearing for RZ 20007.
Mr. Mayor, to open public hearings for RZ 20007, 5099 Browns Mill Road.
All right. Properly moved and second. District 1?
Aye.
District 2?
Aye.
District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
Aye.
District 5?
Aye.
Mayor, aye. The public hearing is now open.
I will go ahead and read the couple of comments that I received, and if Megan has anything, she can read as well. So I do have a couple that came in today. I have one from an email from DeJuan Green. It states, "My name is DeJuan Green. I live at 5408 Savory Chase Crossing in Stonecrest, Georgia. I support development located at 5099 Browns Mill Road." And I have one more that was submitted to me this weekend. If I can find it really quick, I apologize for not having it up earlier. Yes. Hello, Megan, Chris, and Councilman Turner. I support Mr. Lupo in his development without the MARTA shuttle. One of my main reasons is because he resides and previously invested in our community, hence he has a great vested interest. He has also shown social responsibility toward our community by having 2 public meetings with us prior to zoning. I believe in his vision, which includes green space, a lake, shops, and residential living will blend very well into our community without harm or noise and traffic pollution based on their designs. With that being said, I fully endorse and support Mr. Lupo's development without MARTA shuttles and enforceable rental restrictions, unlike another development owned by ABS Network, who we do not want that development in our community. Best regard, Bola Tosla. I hope I said her last name correct. Dash Stonecrest, the citizen and resident. And that's all the public comments I have for that.
Madam Clerk, do you have something for public comments for RZ 20-007?
I have public comments, but they are in opposition. Do you want me to read the ones that are in opposition?
Yes.
Okay. The first one, I'll set my timer. Unless, Chris, have you already set the timer?
I got it now. Go ahead.
Okay. This is from Cedric Beasley. I wish to have clarified the plans for the 15 acres of mixed use across from Browns Mill Park, 5099 Browns Mill. If this is a new business, then please lay out a timetable in which this property will be part of discussion at the meeting in the future. When is a public hearing going to be scheduled for the property to discuss it? This is from Gregory Pierce. There has not been made available information about the master plan for this development as called for in the municipal plan, section 2.19.4-MU-1 mixed use low density district rezoning submittal requirements. See ordinance number 15-06 dated 8-25-2015. A public hearing without this information would only start to make the public hearing invalid, as the public does not have all the critical facts necessary to make informed comments about the planned development. Since this information is required prior to submitting an application for rezoning, it should all be available for public review. Given our current legal quagmire on the zone property and risk to public funds, it is imperative that the citizens whose communities and money is at risk be made aware of precisely what the master development plan is for this development so that it can be reviewed. As there is no link to this information available for public display, it is impossible to have an adequate understanding of how this development will impact the area. The next one is from Renee Cow. 5099 Browns Mill Road, Georgia, was presented as a project with great potential. However, as additional research is being done, there are many unanswered questions. Mixed use zoning allows many projects to come to the area. As residents, we don't know the entire plan. We cannot rest completely on mere speculation, as nothing referencing the project seems certain. Strong economic development is what sustains booming economies in cities. Let's see. I believe that is all that I have for that one. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Wheeler? And yeah.
Yes, sir. That's all the public comments that we have for this applicant. Again, the Planning Commission recommending deferral of this applicant for this application. Again, staff would suggest that applicant be deferred to the February 2nd Planning Commission. But again, it's up to the council if they want to defer it at a March or further beyond.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, before you move on,
Yes, sir.
there were several other comments, and I believe they have been forwarded to Ms. Reed and Ms. Lowe as well. I think they were directed towards the Planning Commission, but it should have also copied Mr. Wheeler and Ms. Reed. I know that there was one from Mr. Baranco, and there was one from the president of the HOA at Sandstone Estate, and another one, I don't recall the name, but I was copied on them.
Yeah, yes, Councilman Turner, Chris and I spoke about that earlier. Those were the ones that were included in the packet. Isn't that correct, Chris? Mr. Wheeler?
Yes, so all the comments that were submitted to staff, again, prior before the packet was sent out, was compiled and submitted with the packet to give the council to read those emails. So again, all the comments that we have compiled together before the Planning Commission meeting and after the Planning Commission meeting, and before the packet was due to be submitted to the city clerk, were all associated in your city council packet, and they're all in each attachment for each zoning case.
So that could be 20. That could be 20 comments, and they're not read in the public now, but they are in our package.
They're part of the public record as part of your packet. Yes, sir. Again, we're not able to read all the comments during the public hearing in the Planning Commission. So again, we submitted part of the official packet. So again, so council can review the comments or look at the comments, and we officially said that these were submitted to council as part of the public comment.
Well,
we stated that it was requested that staff submitted those public comments last time, because again, we had a lot of public comments and we couldn't read them all. So again, they were asked to submit the public comments to council, so they were aware of the comments.
Perhaps this is not the place to be discussing the procedure, but it concerns me that you put them in the written status, but there's a period of time when they get a certain amount of time to make those comments public, and we choose to bypass that. When a specific amount of time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however much, you read what you can during that period. What's left over shall be noted to be included in the package. But to just read a couple and cut it off seemed to be slighting the public of public comment.
No, sir, we did not. We read every comment that was allotted in the 10 minutes. And those that were not, those were submitted after the public hearing, after the Planning Commission meeting, were submitted to council. We read every comment that was submitted to us prior to the Planning Commission or during the Planning Commission. And those who were not read, we submitted those to council to be read.
Not just public, I mean, not just the Planning Commission, but to this council. You read 10 minutes worth of comments?
Can I interject real quick? Because I think there's a little bit of confusion here. Anything that was submitted to me after the Planning Commission, I have read. So all the comments that were submitted to Miss Lillian and Chris Wheeler, they were read at the Planning Commission. Those were like the 25 comments and everything that you guys are speaking of. What I have received is everything that I have received after the Planning Commission met.
Let me suggest this then. Since this is a request for a deferral, we can spend some time understanding how we're going to receive this at the next presentation.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a statement, please?
Yes.
Madam City Clerk, I am in total disagreement with the statement you made. I have received numerous emails that were addressed to the both of us, and some of those were after the planning meeting, but I'll wait until everything is read to make sure. I want to make sure that all of them get in, and most of those are going to be about the CHUP way. So I'll wait until you read those and maybe save my comments until then.
So Madam, I'm not Madam Clerk, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Grimes. For yes. RZ 20-007, what are your comments for that?
I had only a few didn't have many for that one. She may be okay with that one. My comments, I'll retain until after she reads the one about this Chupway piece.
Okay, so no. Having said that,
I have a question before we move
having
on.
said that, then if I understand correctly, Madam Clerk, is that when you and Chris, Mr. Wheeler put me on the right track. When you read comments, let's say for instance, those other 15 or 20 or whatever it was that happens at the Planning Commission meeting, you don't turn around and reread those at the council meeting.
No, we don't reread them. They're only read at one meeting.
And that's why they're included in the packet.
Correct.
The council. So
Yes, sir.
the ones that you and Mr. Wheeler read are the ones for, public comments for this meeting.
Correct.
I want to get some clarity on that because I didn't want to think, or Councilman George Turner think that those people their voices were being shorted, which they are not.
No, sir. So
have been heard.
Megan, if I can interject. So,
Yeah.
So the emails that are CC to Councilman Turner and also CC Ms. Lowe on the emails, those are included as part to be read on the record at the Planning Commission, Planning Commission meeting. Those who she cannot get to are included in the packet that's be submitted to council to be part of the official record to council, so they can officially read those comments because we didn't get to those comments. So again, all the comments that are CC with Ms. Lillian Lowe, those again are read onto the record within the time frame, and then those are submitted to council, the ones that we did not get to.
Okay, just wanted to be clear, and perhaps we need to, like I said, get an understanding, because and I tell people, perhaps I'm wrong in this, that you have two chances to be heard. One is at the Planning Commission meeting, and the other one is before the council. But if they only heard that one, then they've been cut short, or I'm telling them something that is not correct. So we need to make sure that we get a clear understanding on how that is to function.
They can be heard at both. And again, when they submit comments when they say they send an email to you, sir, and you forward it to Ms. Lillian, Ms. Lillian is going to read those comments at the Planning Commission, and the comments that we cannot read, those will be submitted to council to be read. Now, if they want to make an additional comment, they can submit those comments to Ms. Reed for the city council meeting. But again, you are correct in saying that they can be heard at both meetings, but they will have to submit another comment to Megan if they want to actually have that comment read, on the record at the time. Again, all the comments are read within the time frame that the chairman allows at the Planning Commission meeting.
Mr. Mayor, would you allow me one last thing?
Well, Councilwoman Copper was next.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
And it sounds like Attorney Denmark may have been trying to jump in here too.
I was, but
so if you don't mind, I'll wait until we hear from, maybe he's going to answer my question. So if you don't mind, I'll yield to Attorney Denmark.
Yes, ma'am. What I was about to say was kind of where Councilman George Turner went, which is that if a citizen submits a comment at Planning Commission, it should be read there, but that exact same citizen has the right to be heard at City Council, because the rules that govern public comments before the City Council doesn't care whether they were heard or not heard at the Planning Commission. So they may have made a comment at the Planning Commission, but what they did and didn't do at the Planning Commission has absolutely no bearing on their right to be heard at a City Council meeting. And so if they have submitted a comment to be read at a City Council meeting, there's nothing about having been heard at the Planning Commission that would infringe upon their right to be heard at a City Council meeting. So, and maybe Mr. Wheeler may have indicated that the citizens only submitted a public comment to be heard at the Planning Commission, and they did not submit a public comment to be heard at City Council meeting. Now, if that's the case, then we certainly would not read a comment that was not submitted to the City Council to be read. But if they did submit a comment to the City Council, then they should be heard within the allotted time. And everybody who submitted a comment, irrespective of whether they've been heard at the Planning Commission, should have their comment read up until the time runs out for public comment before the City Council.
That is correct. What Winston's saying. So yes, so the code comments that we received that are submitted to Ms. Lillian or to in the headline that says please read to the Planning Commission, those comments are read at the Planning Commission meeting. And those comments that are for Mayor and Council, we allow Ms. Reed to read those at the City Council meetings. Again, our comments are going to be strictly for the Planning Commission meeting, and then we allow those who want to read comments for City Council, we allow Ms. Reed to read those at the City Council meeting. Again.
Councilwoman Grimes.
Can you come back to me, please?
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Cole.
So I think that Attorney Denmark at least helped us understand where our misunderstanding is about who reads what where. So, and at least I will speak for myself, but I'm sure other council members are doing the same thing. I don't think that the message is as clear as it can be, that if you send an email to Miss Lillian, it is strictly for the Planning Commission. And if you send an email to Miss Reed, it is strictly for the council meeting. So what we have been communicating is to send your public comment to either Miss Lillian or Miss Reed, but not making the distinction that if you only send it to one or the other, it is not applicable to the opposite. So, so our constituents are just sending an email for public comment. So they expect to hear that public comment at the public hearings, whether it's Planning Commission public hearing or City Council meeting public hearing. So if we're saying that if you email Ms. Lillian, expect to only be heard at the Planning Commission, that needs to be very, very clear. And if we're saying constituents, if you want to be heard at City Council meeting, you need to send it to Ms. Reed, that definitely needs to be clear. Because I don't think that distinction has been made clear, certainly not to council, but also not to constituents, because we are telling folks to email either one or both, and they have the expectation that they will be heard in front of council. So if you're telling me that anything sent to Miss Lillian will never be heard at council meeting, then we need to tell folks, well, I'm going to tell folks to at least do both. But I don't think that it is clear that it does come to this council meeting.
Okay.
The step away zoning is something that district Did I lose everybody?
Back.
We're here.
Okay, sorry, it went away for a second. Chepway is one that Councilwoman Grimes and I share. And so I have received a number of emails, just like she, that of folks who expect to be heard at council meeting. So to find out that that they will not be heard at council meeting, they will only be heard at Planning Commission because of whom they sent it to, is something that we need to do better at making a distinction between. So especially in this pandemic. So I think moving forward, if Mr. Wheeler, Ms. Lillian, and Ms. Reed, if you all will make it very clear to us and our constituents that if you want to be heard at City Council, you need to send it to Ms. Reed. If you want to be heard at Planning Commission, you need to send it to Ms. Lillian. And if you want to be heard at both, you need to send it to both separately. Did I summarize that?
Councilman Caldwell, I make that distinction all the time at Planning Commission meetings. I make a distinction plain clear that if you want to be, this is just a recommending body, that if you want to give comments, you need to email the city clerk. It will use the email again to your council person and state that you want your comment to be read at city council meetings. We make a point in practice to state that all the time to anybody who contacts us. We make a regular point to say that. Again, we ask them to point out this as in your emails, state to city council or planning commission meeting. But we'll keep practice making that announcement in practice to everybody who still doesn't know that. But again, we've been doing that and we'll keep doing that as well.
And I think maybe, Chris, some of the issue as well is that when we say public comment, if I'm not mistaken, by law, I mean, the custodian of public comment is the city clerk. So if I'm a constituent and I hear public comments are to be sent to the city clerk, to me, it doesn't matter whether that's a public comment for council meeting, a public comment for planning and zoning items. Public comment to go to city clerk is public comment. So maybe we just need to help, even I guess me in this case, understand that public comment is not just public comment, and everything just doesn't go to the city clerk.
We can create what we talked about previously before the pandemic was creating a planning commission and a BZA email for all comments, all quote unquote public comments for related to zoning cases or variance cases, instead of sending them actually to the secretary to make it easier for everybody to know where to send comments to. That's something that we're still looking into. Something that I would very encourage that we create. So again, so there won't be confusion as to where to send the comments. Send it to the planning commission email, and therefore we collect all those emails from those who would like to submit those comments. But again, that's just an idea that we had in the past. But again, since it appears to be an issue, I'm more than willing to talk to IT to see if we can set that up post haste.
Okay, yeah, that would probably help.
Chris, let me ask you a question. What happens if a constituent sends a public comment to Ms. Lowe and then CCs Megan? What happens to that?
We ask again. If really we send an email, or Ms. Lillian, I'll ask Ms. Lillian to ask if they want the comment to be read at planning commission or city council. Usually they'll say they want to be read at both, or they don't want to be read at both. Usually it depends on the applicant. Again, most times we just ask if they want to be where they want it to be read.
The CC would automatically go to Megan, though, right?
Yes, but again, we ask
by going to Megan. Excuse me. By going to Megan, wouldn't she automatically read it because it's a public comment coming to her?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we asked we asked the applicant, instead of assuming that they just wanted to be read at the city council meeting instead of the planning commission, we just went to ask to see where they wanted to be read. Again, we don't want to assume. We rather just ask and see where they wanted to be read or not to be read. Just kind of makes it easier instead of just not assuming, because we've had that issue in the past where we've not read a comment when somebody says, "Hey, why didn't you read my comment?" Because again, we assumed that it went to Megan, then we weren't going to read it at the planning commission meeting. So.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Wheeler, for the record, will you state the date of that meeting where you stopped taking any public comments, or that you started only taking public comments to read tonight? The date of that meeting was what? January the 4th? What was it?
That was
12th?
No, it was January the 21st. No, so again, so all the comments that we received.
21st. Okay.
Yeah. So again, if there were emails that were sent directly to the planning and zoning staff, we included in the council packet. Those emails that included Megan, we allowed Megan to read those comments. Because those emails were submitted to the council as part of that. We assumed that those comments would be read at the city council meeting. So again, so any comments directly towards that was submitted strictly to planning or planning and zoning, we'll go ahead and submit those comments to be part of the packet. Because again, we wanted to be officially submitted to council and said, okay, these officially were comments that were submitted to council that weren't having a chance to be read at the planning commission meeting, but want you to be able to read at your leisure.
Okay, so I want to be clear, and I know we can move on, but District 5 deserves answers. I appreciate the citizens being engaged, and I dare not take anything that's theirs away from them because of any misunderstanding, miscommunication, but I've never heard what you're presenting tonight to be factual in terms of only reading what came after the commission meeting and then putting public comments in the packet. So I want to be clear that you're stating that Mr. Wheeler and Ms. Reed, that only the letters that the public comments that are read tonight were ones that were submitted after January 21st. Is that what I'm to understand?
Those are the ones that I'm aware of. I don't know
Can
what
I-
comments that she.
Can I interject real quick? Because I believe what Councilmember Grimes is trying to get at is there were some comments that I just found in my email that were just sent to her and I. And they didn't say public hearing in them or anything like that, but I had to dive deep in my email to find them. And I'll read them tonight. If that's what you're concerned with, Councilwoman Grimes, we can go ahead and take care of that tonight. I think I just received one from Ms. Cofield as well at 6 o'clock, and she sent it to you and I, and then the other ones popped up below that one.
I guess
I'm getting emails now from constituents saying I sent mine to Miss Reed.
Yeah.
No one told me
been
that I needed to send one to different places. Mine has not been read.
Was it for
Planning Commission meetings? None, would you please? I mean, I'm getting them in as this is going on.
We
Ms.
haven't
Reed,
read any of the, but we haven't read any of the ones for Chopway yet.
Right. I just want to be clear so that as you're reading, I can be checking off the ones who have had their comments read, so that for those who may not have theirs read, I have the appropriate comment to make to them. And so that's the only, it's just check and balance. It's not what I'm trying to get at. It's just that I want to be clear, because when I communicate with District 5, I owe them transparency, and I owe them a clear understanding. So I have to get that in order to give it. So what I'm saying, what I'm asking you,
I said, absolutely, I understand what you're saying now.
yeah,
And
I have and I can't speak for any other council person, but I always ask for anyone who has public comment to send it to you and CC me. Some did send it to 8 or 9 people, but it comes to you, and I'll try to be even more clear that when you send something to Ms. Reed, that in the subject line that they put read in both places, if they want it read in both places, or if they only want it read in public comment to the city council meeting, that it comes to you. And if it's just for the planning commission, that it goes to Ms. Lowe. So I'll do a better job of that if we can be consistent in what we do when we do the reading. So I yield, and thank you so much.
Mayor, if I could say one more thing.
Sure.
I would definitely talk to IT today about establishing a separate email for Planning Commission and ZBA to cut down on confusion. So those who want to send comments for the Planning Commission can send it directly to that email, and those who want to send comments to State Council can send it directly to Ms. Reed. So we can kind of separate the two. And then those who we did not get a chance to read that were associated with the Planning Commission email will be in the council packet.
Thank you, sir. So RZ 20-007, are we clear on all of this? Let's see, Councilman Turner, this is your district. I'm sorry. You held up some fingers, but I missed it.
I was just saying District 4.
This is District 4.
Yes.
Okay, what's your pleasure at this point?
At this point, I move that we close public hearing for this item,
Right.
RZ-20-007.
All right, folks, you've heard the motion for closure. Do you have a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4.
Aye.
District 5.
Aye.
Mayor. Aye. So we've, Mr. Wheeler, we've heard your recommendation on this. Councilman Turner, your area, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I move for a full cycle deferral on this item.
All right.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Mr. Wheeler?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. I can email.
No worries. There should have been, I thought, a date attached to this.
Yes, sir. So again, staff would suggest February 2nd to the next Planning Commission meeting. If council deems that appropriate, or they can push it to the March 2nd planning commission meeting is up to council if they wish to proceed with either dates or even further on.
Recommend full cycle deferral, does not take it to March.
Yeah, yes, sir, it does take it to March.
Okay. My second it is properly moved in second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, District 1,
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4,
Aye.
District 5,
Aye.
Mayor, aye. All right, we move to item D, SLUP 20 -007 and SLUP 20 5961 Chapel Way. Take a motion to, well, Mr. Whitler, you start.
Yes, sir. So similar to as the previous applicants, the applicant is requesting a deferral to address some outstanding comments, specifically to address, to talk about some traffic study that the applicant submitted to staff to review. So again, staff is in agreement with the planning commission recommendation of deferring the application until a specific date. The applicant is here, but again, staff does agree with the planning commission recommendation as deferral of this application.
All right, I will take a motion to open the public hearing.
I make a motion that we open the public hearing for SLUP 20-007 and SLUP 20-008 5961 Chuck Way.
All right, properly moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
And second. All right, District 1,
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4.
Man, I was trying to get your attention. I'm sorry, I was muted. That was a point of order.
Okay.
Make sure that we're clear. This is RZ 2007. Never mind, I see my error. Okay, I apologize. Aye.
All right, D5.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Public hearing is now open. I guess this will be a perfect example of what we just spent about 30 minutes on. So, Madam Clerk, these comments to start for or for or against.
What's your pleasure, Mayor? Would you like to go with the applicant first and then the
Yes, I'll go with that first. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Wheeler.
then Mr. Wheeler?
Mr. Brady Hughes is on the line if you want to have any comments or anything like that.
Okay, sir, you have the floor.
Mayor Larry, council members, thank you very much for your time and attention this evening. It's good to be here with you all. The applicant in this case, as Mr. Wheeler just mentioned, respectfully requests a vote of a deferral in this matter to, I guess, I suppose the March 2nd Planning Commission hearing or the March Planning Commission hearing for reconsideration before that body to be able to afford enough time to address more concerns of the community, reach back out to some of those folks, as well as to work with staff on some of the analysis in its case report, which we are very appreciative and thankful for. But that is the conclusion of my statement. And again, thank you for your time, but we respectfully request a deferral in this matter.
All right, thank you, sir.
Also, so all the public comment that I did receive were CC'd, I was CC'd on to Megan. So again, all the comments I have are going to be, should be read by Megan.
Okay, I will start and I'm setting my timer for 10 minutes.
All right.
The first one is from Miss Shirley Wayne. I am the owner of 2937 Fields Drive. I object to the fuel pump and alcohol outlet development at 5961 Chup Way. Thank you for your consideration, Shirley Wayne. The second one is from Pamela Brooks. Good evening. I would like to express my concern and opposition to the possibility of a convenience store coming into our community. This would lead to more crime and unwanted traffic in the area. Please consider the residents in the area and vote against this store. A concerned citizen, Pamela Brooks. Marcia Gonzalez. I am a homeowner living at the above address for 7 years, 6075 Chupway Lane. I am writing to you to oppose the request land use permit for the development of a convenience store with accessory fuel pumps and alcohol outlet at 5961 Chup Way in Lithonia, Georgia. This zoning is strictly residential. You have school, church, and homes and apartment complex for residents within this radius. This community consists of seniors, adults, and children. Bringing this kind of business into our neighborhood will bring down property values, crimes, and all sort of illegal activities into the neighborhood. The traffic will be increased immensely. Bradley Hughes, Mahaffey Pickens Tucker LLP needs to look at commercial places in other areas to open their business. Company like these are always coming into black neighborhoods to exploit us. They will not go to Buckhead, Alpharetta, Johns Creek, etc. in those white neighborhoods to open a convenience liquor store. Why do they have to come in the black neighborhoods? This is environmental racism. Please do not approve this permit. Sincerely, Marcia Gonzalez. This one is from Gregory Pierce. This location is specifically not intended to allow for the stated purpose as zoned. As such, we should consider whether or not this intrusion into our public spaces and neighborhoods makes sense. While there is a desire to allow commercial development within our community, it is imperative that we be specific about which are suitable, as they have an impact on the future development in the surrounding region. When this land was zoned, it was clear that there should not be an establishment of this nature at that location, else more flexible zoning would have been made available. The citizens bear the specific brunt of any successful or unsuccessful development at this location long past this meeting and the term durations of people on the council. So it is necessary to look at the long term. If we look at the data, this area is already sufficiently served by both convenience stores and gas stations within a 1 mile radius, and as such, an oversaturation of the area is more likely to result in one or both of the locations being unsuccessful and producing commercial blight directly within a residential space, hence it requiring special permitting. Given it is rational that we not grant this development, there are a considerable number of other areas within the footprint where this type of development might make sense. This is not one of them. This is from Renee Cow. 5099 Browns Mill Road, Stonecrest, Georgia, was presented as a project with great potential. However, as additional research is being done, there are many unanswered questions. Mixed-use zoning allows many projects to come to the area. As residents, we don't know the entire plan. We cannot rest completely on mere speculation, as nothing referencing this project seems certain. Strong economic development is what sustains booming economies in cities. Please schedule a community meeting, as we have many questions about the numerous requested SLUP applications being submitted. Landowners, developers come to Stonecrest presenting what they want in our neighborhoods. My goodness, what is in their neighborhoods? Are they surrounded by gas stations, warehouses, storage units, junkyards, trucking companies, and factories emitting, I don't want to butcher that word, but it's chemicals which have adverse effects on human health? We want to have our voices heard as we pay taxes and reside here. Please give us the opportunity to voice our concerns by scheduling a community meeting as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Sincerely, Renee Kell. This is from Brenda Williams. Hope everyone is well. Land use petition for 5961 Chup Way. Please see attached petition to oppose land use petition 2007 and SLUP 2008. We have collected many signatures and are currently collecting more. Please see the attachments. We oppose the special land use permit. I'm a stakeholder in the city of Stonecrest. There are too many establishments like this in the area already. There is no need for this land use petition to be approved. Gas stations with C-store and alcohol outlets should never be the heart of our communities. Please drive by this area and you'll see many living communities, daycare, and church. I'm respectfully asking the planning and zoning and the council to deny this petition. We would like to oppose this position for many reasons. The gas station and C-store will block our entry into our community and bring in more traffic and congestion. This will increase traffic violations on Chup Way. We'll have to increase police patrol in the area and add traffic signal lights inside Chup Way. This gas station and C-store is in the heart of our community with surrounding neighborhoods, associations, daycares, and churches. This is not a safe place to put a gas station and C-store. We have many gas stations, C-stores, Walmart, and Dollar General within a 2-mile radius. There are already several fueling stations in the near vicinity. We don't need more gas pollution. We feel this type of business of selling fuel, beer, and wine and being open late hours will be a safety and pollution environmental concern for our children and adult residents. A lot of residents walk, run, and bike in this area. This business will increase traffic, attract additional transients to the area, will encourage loitering, increase crime, and will bring chemical, noise, light, and trash pollution to our neighborhood. This land should not be industrial or commercial usage land. It should be residential or multi-family homes usage. The city of Stonecrest needs to permanently deny any further petitions to the usage of this land unless it is for residential and multi-family usage. This will grow our community and for the safety of our families. Please add a permanent restriction to 5961 Chup Way, Stonecrest, Georgia for commercial or industrial usage. Caitlin Pelham. Please see attached petition to oppose land petition SLUP 2007 and SLUP 2008. We have collected many signatures and are currently collecting more. Please read our documents and below messages on the Zoom call today at January 14th. We oppose the special land use permit. I am a stakeholder in the city of Stonecrest. There are too many establishments like this one in the area already. There is no need for this land petition to be approved. Gas station with C-store and alcohol outlets should never be in the heart of neighborhoods. Please drive by this area. You will see many living communities, daycare, and churches. I'm respectfully asking the planning and zoning and the council to deny this petition. And she did attach, but it did cut off the sides of it. But here is the petition that she sent. Let's see if my camera will work. And I will send that to everyone, but there's several names on here. The next comment is from Faye Cofield. Opposition to gas station on Chup Way in Farrington. I recognize Stonecrest is a 94% Black community. Until recently, we were ranked among the top 5 wealthiest Black communities in the United States. Since that period of time, we have seen little, if any, positive economic development, commercial or retail. Since becoming a city, we have been inundated with gas stations, storage facilities, group homes, apartments, and low-end housing. Now there's an effort to put a gas station in the middle of a residential community where there exists no need. The current location for this gas station is between a condominium development and a very stable apartment complex. There is no commercial buffer between these two residential areas. I say there is no need because directly across Farrington is a gas station connected to a convenience store. Next door to that is a liquor store and a strip mall, which has several food and a grill. Approximately a quarter mile from the proposed gas station is a Walmart supercenter with a gas station in front. Approximately 1,000 feet from the Walmart pumps is a BP gas station on the northeast corner with another gas station on the southeast corner and a full-service Shell gas station with a convenience store on the southwest corner. If one turns left on Farrington from Chup Way and continues approximately 1,000 feet to Hillendale, and right there is another Shell gas station with a convenience store. When one turns left on Hillendale and travels approximately a half mile, there's a Quick Trip at Panola and Hillendale. If one continues on Medical Parkway, directions to Covington Highway, there are 2 gas stations. One, I believe, is a Chevron with convenience store, and the other is a Kroger gas pump with a full-service Kroger in the back of it. That means there are approximately 9 gas stations currently existing within 1 mile of this location. There is not a need for another gas station. Additionally, that was 10 minutes.
Ms. Reed, who was that last person? I'm sorry. Was that still Ms. Pelham or was that Faye Cofield? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You're on mute, Megan. You're on mute.
Instead of talking.
Ms. Reed. You're on.
Sorry. Yeah, That was Faco Field. And I have a few more, but
Okay, this is 10 minutes.
Mayor, may I ask this question? Because there are two slops, do we not get 10 minutes per slop? Or maybe we need to ask Mr. Denmark? I'm just concerned.
There's one address. It's 5961 Chubb Way. So it doesn't bode for 20 minutes.
How does this thing jump off of here? Okay, I'm losing my, oh boy, it went away.
Councilwoman, is for the same address.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry, my Zoom was leaving. Okay, if you say the same address, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Councilwoman, whose district is this?
Councilman Brown.
I'm sorry.
It's District 5.
5 and 3.
It's 5 and 3. Was it on the corner or something?
Right.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. We properly handled the comments. Mr. Wheeler, Ms. Megan.
Yes, sir. So again, Planning Commission did recommend deferral. Again, staff recommended suggested time. Planning Commission would be March 2nd. But again, it's up to council if they want to proceed with this date or another date, or any date they choose to choose that's most appropriate. So.
I'm going to take a motion to close public hearing.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on the address of 60, I think it's 60 SLUP 20007 and SLUP 20008, and it is 60.
Right. 59.
Hang on, I get the right address so that I can make sure it's correct.
5961.
5961 Chuck Way.
Yes. All right. Properly moved. I have a second.
Second.
All right. And second. District 1.
Aye.
D2.
Aye.
D3.
Aye.
D4.
Aye.
D5. D5.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
All right. Councilwoman, what's your pleasure?
I move to deny.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any conversation? Seeing none, all in favor of denial? D1?
Nay.
D2?
Aye.
D3?
Aye.
D4?
Nay.
D5?
Aye.
Mayor? Nay. So it's 3-3. The move for denial is not approved.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
offer an alternate motion.
Yes, sir.
Move for deferral till March 2nd.
All right. Properly moved. And I heard a second from somebody.
Second.
All right. District 1,
Aye.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4,
Aye.
District 5,
Nay.
Mayor, aye. All right. Okay, we will go to SLUP 21-007 7300 Stonecrest Concourse. Mr. Wheeler?
Again, I'm sorry, yes, sir. So as the previous other two applicants, the Planning Commission recommended deferral for this applicant. The applicant requested a deferral as she was out of the country. So she only got back during the day of the Planning Commission. So again, staff is in agreement with the Planning Commission to recommend deferral for the application. And Ms. Monger is here to make an official request for deferral.
Right.
Hello, hi.
Sure, ma'am.
I believe my understanding was the deferral was just made for the last minute meeting.
I'm sorry, can I have a point of order? Did we open that?
Oh, sorry.
No worries. That's,
Mr. Mayor.
I'm
Yes,
sorry, a couple of things going on at the same time. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Clinton?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I offer the motion that we open public hearing for SL 21001, 7300 Stonecrest Concourse.
Thank you, Councilman. I'll second that. My error, ma'am, I apologize. I should have did this first. District 1?
Aye.
District 2?
Aye.
District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
Aye.
District 5?
Aye.
Mayor? Aye. Mr. Wheeler, I'm going to bring her back for the applicant.
Yes, sir. It's Ms. Bernice Monger. Again, she's requesting a deferral. Again, this item is for council again to recommend to either approve a deferral until a specific time or make other actions by being appropriate by council.
Okay. Before she starts, so do we have any public comments on that end?
I haven't received, well, let me check actually. I'll let Megan read her public comments and I'll go through and see if I received anything.
Yes, I have one comment. It's not going to take 10 minutes and it's in opposition.
Okay.
It's from Tara Knight. It's an opposition of public hearing to approve a late night establishment entertainment facility at 7300 Stonecrest Concourse. This is just south of the AEI startup factory at the mall.
Okay.
That's all the comments I have for that one.
All right. Ms. Bernice?
Yes, good evening. Hi. I think I wasn't asking for deferral for today's meeting. I'm not, if I'm understanding correctly. The deferral was made for the last meeting that was held, not for today. So I am here and been waiting to speak on my application today.
Ms. Monger, so again, the Planning Commission is just a recommending body. So again, they recommend deferral. So again, if it's just again, so that's just a recommended body. So again, your application can be heard again, deemed by council either at the next Planning Commission meeting or March 2nd commission or whatever date the city council deemed is appropriate. So again, so that's just a recommending body. So when you ask council, when you ask staff that you want a deferral, you're gonna get a deferral either by the council, not by the Planning Commission.
Oh, okay.
Councilman Clinton, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I guess I need to ask Ms. Bernice one question though. Ms. Bernice, according to the Planning Commission, they recommended deferral until February the 2nd. What we,
sorry, Councilman Clinton, that's a date that staff is suggesting. That Planning Commission just said recommend deferral. They didn't give us specific date. I apologize. Yeah, so those dates are just something that staff was going to recommend. But again, Planning Commission didn't choose a specific date.
Okay, well then, in that case, I would just go ahead and make my motion. Is to close public hearing at this point in time.
All right. Motion for a closed public hearing. Now second. District 1?
Aye.
District 2?
Aye.
District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
Aye.
District 5?
Aye.
All right, Mayor, aye. Okay, back on the floor. Councilman Clanton.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I offer a motion that we defer this applicant, SLUP 21001 7300 Stonecrest Concourse until February the 2nd meeting.
Okay, properly moved. I'll second.
Second.
All right, properly moved and second. All right, District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4.
Aye.
District 5.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. So deferred. D, RZ 21001 and SLUP 21-007, 3174 Miller Road. Mr. Wheeler.
Yes, sir. As currently to continue the current trend of tonight's meeting, this applicant, Mr. Patrice Bond, recommended asked for a deferral at the last planning commission. City planning commission agreed and recommended deferral of her application. She has a few outstanding items to address, and the staff is in agreement to recommend a deferral of her application. She is here to make a formal request for deferral. And I believe this is Councilman Rob Turner's district as well.
Okay, I'll take a motion to open public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to open public hearing for RZ 21-001 and SLUP -21-001 3174 Miller Road.
Second.
All right, probably moved and second. District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4.
Aye.
District 5.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. All right. Ms. Reed.
I have not received any emails regarding this, but I definitely don't want to censor our public. If any council members have received any public comments, please let me know.
I have not received any.
Okay, then we're on the same page.
All right. Okay, the applicant.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanteria Vaughn. I wanted to come before you all to ask for a deferral until February 2nd, the next planning meeting.
Okay, okay. Anything else, Mr. Wheeler? Ms. Vaughn?
No, sir.
Good deal. Councilman Turner, I'll take a motion to close public hearing.
Can I ask Ms. Vaughn one question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Vaughn, you had stated in your request or your application that you wanted to have more than 6 children. How many children are you looking at having in the facility?
That won't be determined until right from the start, inspector comes out and actually measure the rooms in the building. So I can't determine that. However, I would say full capacity, being that it has been an academy for 10 plus years.
Right.
So I will say I want full capacity as much as right from the start the inspector allowed me to have.
And then
I know, I'm sorry.
Where you going? I'm sorry.
Okay, I know that with a child care home facility, you can only have up to 6 kids. However, I wanted to go ahead and use as much as possible, that being that it wasn't an academy before, take advantage of every opportunity I have. So I would like full capacity.
And of course you will be, and I don't know whether Bright from the start will be inspecting you in reference to this, but you will be COVID compliant. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And they will, that is a requirement. Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure you made that statement in public. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
I'd like to ask one question. I'm trying to get my bearings, and I won't call the name of the building, Ms. Vaughn, but are you near the caution light? Is it right before the caution light?
It's after the caution light.
If it's on my right-hand side?
Yes, it's after the caution light on your right-hand side.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Thank you. I wanted to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No further questions, Mayor Larry.
All right, good seeing you, Ms. Bond. Councilman Turner?
Do I close the hearing or just make the motion? Well, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to close the hearing for RZ-21001 and SLUP-21001 3174 Miller Road.
Second.
Properly moved in second. District 1?
Aye.
District 2?
Aye.
District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
Aye.
District 5?
Aye.
Mayor? Aye. All right. Councilman Turner, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to defer to February 2nd Planning Commission meeting for RZ-21-001 and SLUP-21001 3174 Miller Road.
All right. Properly moved.
Second.
Second and second. Good deal. District 1?
Aye.
District 2?
Aye.
District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
Aye.
District 5?
Aye.
Mayor? Aye. All right. We move to old business where we have TMOD 20-002 sign ordinance, freestanding sign. Who is this? Mr. Wheeler, is that you?
Yes, sir. So this is the second read of the freestanding sign ordinance that was submitted late last year, submitted on my behalf and Ms. Anna Mary Hazard. Again, this is the final version of it. Ms. Hazard is not, is ill. But Ms. Emily Gretchen, I can't never say her last name, but Emily is online. They're answering any technical questions from council as well as myself.
All right, Madam Mashevsky.
I don't have much more to add. This is the second read of this ordinance. My understanding is you've already had your public hearing on it, so it would just be for the vote tonight. The ordinance is an amendment to the sign ordinance, which would permit freestanding signs.
Okay. Having said so, is there another specific read or that covers it, Madam Attorney?
That should cover it. You've already read the title, so unless you'd like to go over the details, you're ready for a vote.
Nope, I'll take a motion to approve TMOD 20-002 sign ordinance for freestanding sign. Matter of fact, I'll make the motion to do so. I'll move that we approve TMOD 20-002 sign ordinance for the freestanding sign.
Aye. I mean, second.
All right, properly moving in second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. District 1?
Aye.
District 2?
Aye.
District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
Aye.
District 5?
Aye.
Mayor? Aye. We've determined a date for our budget retreat date. At this moment, folks, I'm going to ask us to take a 5-minute recess, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you.